indeed an honor to stand here in the Alberta Legislature and join in a celebration of 100 years of voting rights for women. My thanks, Mr. Speaker, to you and to everyone who stood up and spoke on this historic and wonderful occasion. It was February of 1916 when our then Lieutenant Governor, Robert Brett, stated that, quote, "Equality in Alberta should be fixed by law." Bravo. Hard to believe this was 100 years ago, and so much has happened since then. Much of it happening right here in Alberta. Prairie women are a hardy bunch, as I'm sure all the women in here can attest. Western provinces were the first to grant women the right to vote. When Alberta women took to the polls for the first time in 1917, Louise McKinney and Roberta McAdams became the first two women ever elected in Alberta. Now fast forward to May of 2015, when only two women were re-elected in this legislature, myself and our Premier. This time, however, there were a lot more new female politicians ready to make their mark in the history of this legislature. And as I said earlier, despite our sometimes high-intensity exchanges in this House, I never tire of seeing so many amazing women gathered in this chamber to guide our province forward. We have very big shoes to fill as we fight for policy and legislation that will continue to make women's lives easier. The shoes of the famous five, of Emily Murphy, of Henrietta Muir-Edwards, of Nellie McClung, of Louise McKinney, and of Irene Parlby. And I think about these courageous women and how their efforts have spawned a generation of political activism. And I promise to continue that work with my dynamic female colleagues and some pretty great guys too. I will stand tall with the women who, despite threats, harassment, and intimidation, still get out there every day to push the limits, to protect single moms like me, new moms like the member for Calgary Varsity and our minister responsible for the status of women, for women diverse in their sexual orientation and their ethnicity, for women with a vision of how to make life better in Alberta. And we are doing it just like women did 100 years ago, one vote at a time. Hear, hear, hear.